Hey up everybody, my name's Joshua Morrison, director of Johnny Moz's Lessons in Confidence. Today I want to talk a little bit about being out of it and then kind of getting back into it. Specifically, I want to talk about how I didn't go to the gym for 2 weeks, right? And sort of how it made me feel and how I felt when I got back into the gym, right? So during the month of October, I didn't really work out very much, right? I excused myself by going, I've got so much to do, I need time to make these videos, I need time to sort out my client work, I need to go to my actual job, there's personal errands that I need to get done, so the actual going to the gym kind of fell to the wayside because I thought I can afford to not go because I've got all this time to put towards productivity, that I am putting towards productivity. I'm getting up early, I'm doing so much throughout the day, every day. And October was a pretty productive month for me, right? But I had this nagging thing in the back of my mind, which was, you're not going to the gym, right? You need to get back into going to the gym. Because when I first started going to the gym, I was going every single day, bar none. I went every single day, right? And I would go in, my little routine was I'd go in the gym, get changed, come out onto the, the workout floor. I'd do a bit of stretches. They had this sort of knee stretch thing. So I'd do a couple of them, and then they got this vibration kind of table, so I'd sit on the vibration table for a little bit. Usually I'd sort out these parts, I'm not sure what they're called, like slightly above the pec, right? So I'd sort those out because those tended to get a little bit tight after a while of doing, like lifts and that thing. So I'd sort that out, right? And they're not pecs, I don't know what they are, but I'd sort those out, and then I'd get on the treadmill, right? And I would sit on the treadmill, or I'd run on the treadmill for anywhere between sort of 15 and 30 minutes, right? And I would sort of do between 2.5 kilometers and 5 kilometers each day, right? And that time would be really fun because I made a point of listening to new music, right? So I downloaded a load of albums that I've been meaning to listen to, and I would listen to the album and I'd work out for the duration of the album. So like Purple Rain by Prince, I listened to that and I found out that's a lot more experimental than I kind of gave it credit for. Listened to In Utero by Nirvana, just sort of albums that, are kind of bog standard that people should have heard. And I realized I hadn't listened to them, so I thought this is a good opportunity to just listen to that stuff, right? Listened to a lot of rap, listened to a lot of heavy metal. It's how I got into a lot of progressive metal. Was by working out in the gym, because I really liked the tempo changes and the time signature changes and the developments, I could, if I was on the treadmill, right, and I was doing say 8 kilometers, right, and then a fast bit came in or a heavy breakdown came in, that's when you turn it up to like 10 or 12 kilometers an hour, and you go poof, like that, and it really makes you feel just like ready to take on the world. It's a runner's high and it feels really nice. It's my favorite way to listen to music now. I really enjoy it, right? And after I'd had my time on the treadmill, I'd get off and wipe everything down and all that, and then I would go to the dumbbells and I'd try and do 100 dumbbell lifts. Didn't have to be of the exact weight that I wanted. I would start off on about 8 kg, right, and I would do a few of those until those started to get a bit tiring. I'd do them in blocks of 20, so I'd do 20 at the 8 kg, and then I would kind of go down, I'd do 7 kg for 20, and then I'd go up and do 9 kg for 20, and then I would go down to 7 again, and then I would try and go up to 10 kg, and that's when I'm really like, each one is like really a big struggle to get it done, right? And then I would go down to sort of 6 kg for the final set, just as a bit of more just practicing the movement, right, rather than the lift of the weight. It was more useful to just practice the actual moving and keeping the muscles going, right? Then after that, I would probably do a little bit of the steps. They've got that step machine for, practicing climbing hills and all that sort of stuff. Be good for that, so I would do a bit of that. And then if it was free, I would do the shoulder thing like that. So I try and do some of those. I'm not too bothered about the machines because the machines are really like about sorting out specific parts of your body. They're about activating very specific muscles, right? And it involves a lot of knowing what you want, and I don't exactly know what I want. I just know that I basically go to the gym for vitality, right? I want to be more vitalized. I want to have more energy. you know, and I want to be more fit and healthy. That doesn't necessarily mean I want to be, you know, super muscly, right? I just want to have more energy, and going to the gym helps me with that. So now that I've done all of that and the album's kind of come to a close, right? I go and I get changed and I have a shower and then we got a steam room and a sauna. I'm quite lucky in mine because I don't actually pay that much for it, but I, for some reason I have a steam room and a sauna. So I get in we also have a jacuzzi, but I don't get in the jacuzzi because it looks fucking grim. So I get in the steam room, right? And I sit in the steam room for quite a while, right? I try and do like 20 inhalations like this. Like that, right? And I tend to find that you start to notice little things wrong with your body, or like a little drip of water going down your Adam's apple or going into your belly button or stuff like that. It feels that much more distracting because you're there trying to do these 20 breaths. So it's almost a little bit of an exercise in and of itself, but more of a mental one, a psychological exercise rather than a physical one. And then I go down to the swimming pool, which we also have for some reason. And this is the main reason why I pay for the gym. It's because of the swimming pool. And I get in there, and I used to try and do like 5 laps, right? And lately I've been getting a bit more lazy with it, and I'm only doing sort of 2 or 3 laps. But the point is, I get in the swimming pool and I feel my pores kind of open up from the combination of the shower, the steam room, and the pool, right? And you do a bit of that. Usually I'm doing breaststroke, right? I don't really do the forward crawl one because I find that, like with the long hair, I feel like it strangles me sometimes. Or if I've got it tied back, it just sort of bobs back and forth in a really uncomfortable way. I should really get a swimmer's hat, actually. But I haven't got one of those. And then I'll maybe sit there, sometimes I do this, sometimes I don't. I'll just lie in the pool, like floating, right? And I'll just stare at the water rippling on the ceiling, right? And I'll just count to 10 really slowly, right? And it's almost like a little form of meditation. And I enjoy that. It's hard to do, particularly if it's kind of busy, so I might not be able to get that bit done. I can only really do that if there's not really anyone else in the pool. If there's a couple people, it's all right, but if it's crowded, then your mind gets blocked by thinking, am I in people's way and all this, right? So you do all of that, and you get out, you have a quick shower, and you go in the sauna. Well, I go in the sauna, right? And I sit in there. Sometimes there's people in there that like to have a bit of a chat, so I don't really talk in the gym. I don't go to the gym to socialize. I go there to work out and revitalize myself. So I'll sit there and listen to conversations. There's a lot of fun conversations. There's a conspiracy theorist who goes in there and he talks about chemtrails and stuff. And I enjoy and he's very passionate about it. And like, I think he's talking complete bollocks, but I find him fun to listen to. And I don't have the courage to sort of speak out and go like, this is a load of shite, because then suddenly you're having a fucking, conversation, and he's gonna know way more about chemtrails and stuff, and he's gonna have things to back up why he believes this, whereas I don't have any of that, right? So I don't get involved, but I enjoy listening to him speak all the same, because I love his passion with it. And then I get changed and I go home. I don't use the hair dryers anymore, because I saw a load of people using the hair dryers on their feet, which is fucking rancid. Don't do that. Why are you fucking blow drying your feet? Yeah, it's grim. It's nasty. Don't do that. All right. So, and then I get home, right, and that's when I usually have a bit of food, and I've started to try and get into my protein and stuff. So I'm having a lot of chicken. I'm having a lot of kidney beans. More like Greek yogurt with like loads of chia seeds and flax seeds and all this sort of stuff. I'm trying to block out eating crisps, and instead there's these banana chips that you can get in Lidl, which are just like air-dried bananas essentially. And some of them are really hard, but sometimes they're a little bit sort of crumbly. I really like the crumbly ones, but I don't like the super hard ones. You've got to be careful with them. You've got to eat them with this sort of bit of your teeth, not the middle bit of your teeth, because it could probably fuck your teeth up. But that's my routine in the gym, or at least that's my full routine. I don't always do all of that. I'll do some of that, I might do all the stuff on the floor, but I might think I don't have enough time to do the swimming pool, I'll skip the swimming pool. Or I might do it the other way around and skip the workout floor thing, right? So whichever way I do it, I like doing that, and I like to try and do that every day, or at least every other day. But for the past sort of couple weeks, throughout the month of October, I hadn't really been going at all. I went in once and I barely did anything because I had to go to work, and I was like, I really need to do something. So I went in and I basically did a couple dumbbell lifts and spent 5 minutes on a treadmill. And, it activated the muscles a little bit, but it wasn't enough, right? you know, and I work a physical job as well. So, you know, I'm lifting stuff, I'm moving around a lot, you know, and then this, you know, I've got a backpack, you know, that's right now it's not heavy, but when all the stuff's in it, it's heavy, and I've got a big tripod that I lug around with me, you know, and I'm lugging that around for, you know, kilometers at a time sometimes, trying to find the right spot. So I'm an active person. I get out there and I do a lot, right? But I feel like I could do more to be kind to myself, because sometimes I fail at just having the banana chips and I end up buying a load of packets of crisps and just pigging out, and then I wake up afterwards and I feel kind of shit about it. And I'm like, not necessarily that I feel shit from eating all of it, but more of a psychological feeling shit from like, I've just done all of that, right? And as time has gone on, I've been paying less and less attention to my body, right? And to what my body needs, because they say treat your body like a temple. I've been treating it sort of like a temple that the council has left to rot. And there's graffiti all over it, you know, and the walls are sort of becoming a little bit crumbly, like bits are falling off of them, and there's just piles of like discarded crap everywhere, you know. And I'm not really giving it me all, right? And I thought, how can I change that? What can I do to make myself more active and revitalize my body? Because as time was going on, I was getting lazy, right? In April, I canceled my gym membership because I thought, I'm paying a lot, but I'm doing a lot of physical work, you know, so maybe I don't really need the gym. And after that happened, I started to lose a lot of energy. I started taking like supplements and stuff to kind of get myself back on track, but I lost so much energy as a result of that. And that ended up meaning that I was less productive than I could have been. There's videos that don't exist because I was too tired to make them. And that made me feel kind of down, you know. I had loads of good ideas and I just never saw them to fruition. And now the moment's passed to make those videos. So I just felt kind of sad about it. And I thought, how can I not let this happen again? So I signed up for the gym again, right? And as I went more and more, my energy started to come back, right? But since I haven't been going for a couple of weeks, I've still been keeping busy and active, right? So I haven't got a big loss of energy, and I've been fairly productive. But I feel like I could be doing more to help myself, right? And so I went to the gym for the first time in 2 weeks today, right? And I wasn't able to do my full workout. I had loads of time, right? But I just didn't have the energy for it like I used to. So I need to go more frequently and more often. And as I do that, my energy will come back and I'll be able to do my full workouts again, right? And I think that's the key, is keeping yourself in the rhythm of doing things. And if you fall out of something, it's hard to get back in, right? And I'd just gotten out of something. It's hard to get back in once you're out, right? I made a video about this sort of topic, which is basically keep up what you're doing, because if you fall off, it's going to be harder to start up again. And when I made that video, I was going to the gym every day. I was being productive. I was making videos every single day, you know, and I was doing everything the right way. And then I fell off and I stopped doing that. And the moment I stopped doing that, it's like you fall a little bit, you stumble, right? And as you stumble, you have to put your hands on the floor, right, in order to get yourself back up, right? And if you stick with your hands on the floor for too long and you get comfortable with that, and you end up sitting down on the floor, then it's even harder to get yourself back up, to push yourself back up, right? And to stand up tall and face the world as it comes at you, right? And this video is basically just a reminder to anyone that might be watching this that, you know, might be falling off lately or has been a little bit less productive than they would like to be, right? You can push through this. You can get it done, right? And the consequences of you not doing that are pretty obvious, which are, if you don't do it for a day, it'll become harder to do it the next day, right? And if you don't do it for 2 days, then it will get slightly harder than that. And 3 days, even harder, and so on and so on and so forth, until at one point you have this epiphany, which is, oh my God, I haven't done it for this long, right? X days or X weeks or X months, right? I need to get back into that now, right? And then you get a big burst of energy. When those bursts of energy happen, take full advantage of them, right? Squeeze that energy for all it's worth, right? Because the more that you squeeze your energy and you're using your energy, the more energy will come through. It's a flowing cycle, right? That you need to keep flowing. And if you shut off the dam inadvertently or on purpose, it's going to be harder to turn that dam on. So that's pretty much it from me. Thank you very much for watching this video, everybody. Hope you managed to get something out of it. Leave your thoughts and comments down below. What have you not done for a little while that used to be your routine, you want to get back into it, and you're finding it a little bit tough to do so? Has this video resonated with you? If so, why? If not, why not? Right? Leave your constructive criticism and your constructive praise or whatever in the comments below. And that's it from me. Thank you very much for watching this video, everybody. Take care and bye-bye.